Well, hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? It is August 9th. Um, Beautiful summer. I really, oh, hi Ruth. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Um, but August is a really exciting month. A lot of stuff goes on in August, and one of them is my birthday. So for my birthday month, I have, if you're not on my newsletter, you didn't receive this. So I'm running a special, $20 off of any service. If you can contact me directly, because you really can't schedule on my website, or you'll be paying full price. There's not the discount there. So you can contact me through the website or at wellnessmary@gmail.com. It's a great time to take advantage as long as you schedule. It offer runs till the end of the month. As long as you contact me to schedule, even if you can't get in August, I honor it as long as we schedule before the end of the month, so that you can get a 15-minute reading for $25. So take advantage of that. It's my gift for my birthday to you. Also, I wanted to, it's probably going to be in September. I will be starting a webinar. It's a healthy happy hour. And each week I'm going to have a different topic. And there'll be more information to follow. So I'll know each week what the topic is, whether you want to join. And it'll be more of like an open discussion. I will talk for the beginning of the hour for a little while about the topic, and then open the floor up to discussion, because there's a lot of different things, and it really is based on my background in nutrition and weight loss, but it evolved to the spiritual side of things. So I wrote a e-booklet, which I'm working on revamping, which will be available. So that's something else that, if you're interested in that, reach out to me. And once it's all done in the new format and design, I'll be able to send that to you completely free. But it'll be along those lines of tools that you could use, because I really dislike the word diet, because it really is lifestyle change, and it has more to do with not so much what you're eating, but what's eating you, and why you're eating, when you're eating, and what you're eating. And even if it isn't a weight loss thing, but it's a health thing, it would be very beneficial for you. So keep that in mind. And like I said, feel free to reach out to me. I love interacting with people. This is kind of challenging for me, because it's like, I feel like I'm out in space. But yeah, so that I wanted to get all that out there. So I do really enjoy having that open conversation anytime that I do talks or lectures, workshops, at some of the live events that I do. I always set them up that way. I speak maybe 30 minutes, and then I open the floor up for discussion. And I like that interaction. And then everyone can get their questions answered, and it has a more personalized feel to it than just sitting in a classroom listening to somebody talk about a lot of stuff that maybe not all pertains to you, but there's things that you want to know a little bit more about. So that'll give you that opportunity. So like I said, August is a big month. We had the new moon, the full moon on the 1st. We have a new moon coming in on the 16th. And we also had Lionsgate. And actually, Lionsgate, the portal opened on July 26th, and it goes till August 12th. But the actual 8/8, which everyone seems to talk about, is the strongest of it's the most powerful day of the whole Lionsgate. And I thought it'd be interesting to give a little history, a little background, a little understanding about what Lionsgate is. It's activated when the alignment of Sirius, with how Sirius aligns between the Earth, and that's what activates it. And Sirius is a giant star. It's also known as the spiritual sun. It is known as the spiritual sun because Orion's belt, which points at Sirius, aligns with the pyramids of Giza. So there is a lot of spiritual meaning behind it, a lot of power in it, and it's an excellent time for many transformations, which I'll get into, but I want to give a little bit of the history. Sirius was important to the ancient Egyptians because when Sirius rose on Cairo, it aligned with the same time that the Nile River rose. Well, this was very mystical and magical to the Egyptians, which the universal energies and the stars and the planet alignments really should be mystical and magical to all of us. But I also think that at that time, when this occurred, it also was rainy season for them. Sirius was also important to the Greeks. The ancient Greeks observed Sirius in a different way. It was the morning star, and it brought the hot and dryness of summer. So they didn't really see it as mystical, magical as much as they feared it, because the plants would wilt and men would weaken. So they observed it as a threat. And when the star appeared, they would call it the dog days, hence the term the dog days of summer, because that's the hot, the heat, we wilt, we weaken, all those things. And that's where that really came from. The Romans celebrated the setting of Sirius by sacrificing a dog, which is kind of gross, along with incense, wine, and a sheep, to the goddess Rabgo, so that their wheat crops wouldn't rust. And Rabgo was or is the goddess of mold and mildew, which I really, when I did some of this research, I did not know that, never heard of this, and I thought it was fascinating. There's so many things that we just kind of take, like I knew about Lionsgate 88 for many, many years. And I like to read and I like to research and find out where things come from. And so when I looked up that goddess, I was like, I never even knew that there was a goddess out there for mold and mildew and that kind of stuff. But I guess we're happy that she was there for them to do this ritual for, so their wheat fields wouldn't rust. And then the ancient Polynesians would navigate with the stars on the Pacific Ocean, which many sailors, they use the stars to navigate. I'm sure they still do that today. So they named Sirius the Queen of Heaven, which I think is just beautiful. And the planets and the stars are very heavenly beings anyway, because it's just, there's so much in this great creation and universe that goes far, far, far beyond what our little human brains can comprehend. So it's just way too much to grasp. So you kind of, I know for me, when I sit outside, even in the daytime, and I just look up and see the clouds and the vastness, I'm in awe. And at night, especially like in places like Montana, where Marsha lives, who does the Enlightened Heights on Monday, I've been out there visiting her, and they call it Big Sky Country, and it really is, because you see a sky like I don't see around here. We don't have all the clutter that blocks the sky. So of course, with the astronomers, there's always some kind of controversy, even with people that have different beliefs and different theories, and there's so much of that, and it's with everything. It's been around since the dawn of time. Hello, Richard. Thank you for joining. Um, it's been around since the dawn of time, and you speak of the dawn of time. Was it the creation of Adam and Eve, or was it evolution? So that's one thing that's still, I don't think there'll ever be settled, because there are going to be people that believe one way and people that believe another way. And that's where the respect comes in. I just, not too long ago, I saw someone posted, we've always been told not to discuss religion or politics because they would always end up in a fight. I'm sure many of you have heard that. But maybe we should have learned to discuss religion and politics as an understanding, respect, and acceptance of other people's beliefs, and not force what our beliefs are down someone else's throat. And we see a lot of that in what's going on in this crazy world today. So, let me go back to this. So there's a lot of things that Sirius brings into play. I lost my place. Sorry. So it's a time to focus on areas of the heart, family, and friends. It will bring up some things in that area, but it's not just about relationships with friends and families. It's also about our relationship with ourselves. And, these areas might need a little extra love, including our love for ourselves. So, pay attention to that. I don't know how many people have felt very emotional. The moon brought a lot of that in also. But, things from the past memories, stuff that come up, it all comes up for a reason, even if it's not during Lionsgate or whenever it is. It comes up for a reason, because it's time for us to take a look at that. What is there that we need to heal, or we need to work on, or we need to reassure ourselves? It's very important that we don't get emotionally upset about memories or things that have come up, because it's all for purpose. People talk about triggers and how certain situations trigger them. Well, that is a gift, because when that comes up, it's like, wow, yay, where is the lesson? Where is my growth? I think I shared this at one point. My Reiki master used to say, when the SHIT is about ready to hit the fan, you say, goody, goody, what's in it for me? Because that's going to be a huge lesson. Hi, Robert. Thank you. And as always, I do appreciate the super sticker, the love offerings. It helps me to keep going, helps me to keep the show going. And since I'm here by myself today, I will have time at the end to do messages. So Robert, you will definitely get a message if you'd like. And I also, I want you to send me an email, because I have information I want to send you about a powwow that's going to be coming up in Philadelphia in September. And I think it might be something that, if you can attend, you might be interested in. So, so go back to the Lionsgate. In the 8-8, we all know the significance of 8 being infinity, the infinity sign. But it also represents abundance and prosperity. And this is an excellent time for meditation and manifestation. So I know personally, myself, I have done kind of double time on meditations the last few days, instead of, just doing my regular routine. I've added a couple of different guided ones. Very, very powerful stuff. I love it. I also love the fact that the universe always aligns with my timing of having some extra time, that I can do those things during periods like this. And I am very grateful, grateful, grateful. You're welcome, Robert. As soon as I met the gentleman who's running this, I thought of you. So yeah, so shoot me an email so I don't forget, and I'll get it off to you. I've been wanting to share that with you. So I'm happy that it's going to work out. So it also reminds us of our connectedness and our oneness. It's the connectedness, the unity of the universal family that we are, whether people want to admit it or not. That energetic soul connection is what really brings us together. And some of us walk on the 3D world. They're not at the 5D level. It's they're just going through with their blinders on, or being led around with their leash by the media and everything else that goes on in this world right now. So those of us who really get this spiritual realm, we have that understanding, and we feel that wonderful connectedness to one another. This past Sunday, being that I was home, and I was happy to be able to attend a Sunday service group at it's called Spiritual Relics in Virginia Beach, and it's owned and run by Dawn Link, who is a wonderful person. She has really good gifts, and during the meditation there, we were just sending love out, and the power in the room was just, it was beautiful. I could feel the expansion in my chest. I love experiences like that. And anytime, I always recommend this for people that I do readings for, because after readings, we get into conversations. There's different things that take place, but I like to, remind people to get out there, experience different modalities and different things and different spiritual communities. And not everything is going to feel right or fit or resonate with you, but you'll never know unless you try. And, if you don't go out there, what are you missing? If you stay cocooned, you need to expand. And I know sometimes it's a little uncomfortable for people to do that. And I've spoken about this before. We stay stuck, and it's, I labeled it as the false comfort zone, because, you could be in a miserable place, but it's familiar. So you stay there. So kind of work on stepping out of that, especially during this time. It's also a great time to take care of ourselves. And that includes the mind, body, and soul, a time to look at our nourishment for all three. So ask yourself, where are you receiving your nourishment? How are you nourishing your mind? What books are you reading? What things are you watching? What music are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Who's the tribe that you're around? Are the people that are lifting you up, people that are on a high vibration and not pulling you down? That the gossip and the stories and the things that really can suck the life out of you. And we all are we all get exposed to that in one way or another, and in our universal energy, the collective, can sometimes pull us down without even realizing that it's happening. And I know, like, I have clients that work in traditional offices, or even people, counseling clients that work in traditional offices. But I also have people that come to me for readings, and I don't know what it is that they do for a living, but it always comes across as very gray, black and white, mechanical. And then when I ask them, what is it that you do? It's usually they're in an office in a cubicle. And that's how my guides bring it in, that it's very gray and mechanical. And that is where you need to add like extra things, put some crystals on your desk if you can, like a salt lamp. If you're allowed to play at a low volume, vibrational frequencies, bring in a sun lamp, not the kind that you get tan from, but the artificial outdoor light kind of lamp. There's little things that you can do to uplift your space. And always, 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 before you walk out the door, do a prayer for protection. Call upon the Holy Spirit and your guardian angels and the archangels and the ascendant masters to protect you and shield you from unwanted negativity, things that will pull you further away from your connectedness to the divine and to spirit. It's very important. It's like your arsenal. You got to put it on. You can't leave the house without it. And sometimes throughout the day, you want to reassure yourself that. That's where that practice of meditation comes in, because as we practice and it becomes a part of our lives, when we're in these situations, in office-like settings or out in public, and you can kind of feel yourself getting a little caught up in it, you can just take a deep centering breath. You don't even necessarily have to close your eyes, but that deep centering breath will pull you back, and you'll center yourself and you'll reconnect, because that's where you go, because that's what you do in your practice of meditation. And that's why it's so important that you do that. So those are things that help you with your mind, the body, the soul all comes in a little bit to play there. But what you listen to, what you read, the people that you're around, those things, become very aware of it, because we do live in this life. I always say that I feel like I have one foot on the earth and one foot in the spiritual realm because of the way I work and I live. And it took me quite some time to understand and learn how to maneuver in this life. And it has become at times a bit challenging again because of the society and what's occurring. The world has really has been turned upside down. And I mentioned about beliefs and opinions and things like that, and being a minister and having a very strong faith in God. It becomes challenging because there's natural law and the law of God, and the do not judge others comes into play. But then we have judgment, we have discernment, we have opinion. It all kinds of an observation. These things all kind of crisscross. So that's a slippery slope. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, and how to kind of understand that a little bit better to the best way I can explain it. So we talked a bit about the mind and the things that you read, and because there's a lot of garbage out there, especially I haven't had regular television in a number of years, and I have gotten fewer and fewer movie things to watch, just because of the crap, But I do like to have my downtime and have some entertainment. And recently, I've been watching on YouTube, the old, like I watched some old honeymooners and old interviews, the Dean Martin roast, and the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, things like that. And it's just light and funny, and it's not all about who's with who and what's going on and what gender and this and that. And so it really it's very light, and I watch a little bit of it And then I read at night mostly. I'm a big reader. I love to learn. And as I've said before, I'm always continuing my education in spiritual counseling, starting another course. The book just came right before I started the show. So I'm excited to get into that. So let's get into, how we are nourishing our body. It's a great time, as any time, to clear out the processed and the fast foods and return to nature's abundance. So processed and fast foods, hopefully they're not even an issue anymore for you, because um, they really have no purpose. I mean, I know that some of the fast food places offer salads and things like that. And several years ago, I was on the road, and I usually always have my own cooler packed with things when I travel. So I ended up, I think it was Wendy's I went into, and I got a salad, which was, it was okay. But I like to know where my food comes from. For the most part, I do eat out, um, but I like to go with that 80-20 rule. Um, so when I'm home, I eat very clean. Um, I can control what I take in, because when we go out, we don't know what we're getting. So, but I'm going to get back to that nature's abundance, because this is a good time during Lionsgate to take some healing herbs and some adaptogens if you're not taking adaptogens. And if you're not aware what an adaptogen is, it's plant-based. It's things like ginger and mushrooms, and they regulate the body. They help with stress and fatigue. So if you're not taking anything like that, it's a really good time to begin. Um, and they do work. There. Even like with, if you have a headache, don't reach for the ibuprofen. White willow bark works wonderful on headache. And if you have stress or muscle pain, or you have some anxiety, Valerian root is another that works really good with all that tension, releasing that, calming it. Muscle tension, if you get tight in your neck, that causes a headache, Valerian root. You can get it in a tincture, you can get it in teas. These things are really great. And I know that I've mentioned that our Creator created this wonderful body and also provided us with all the things we need to take care of it. And if you aren't aware, most pharmaceutical drugs, if not all, derive from plants. So there's something there. And if you know about essential oils and the healing properties of those and the things that they can do, that it seems like it's kind of kept in the hush hush because of the sick care we have here. And, that's a whole nother show and a whole nother topic. But so it is a good time to really look at those kind of things and start to make that shift with adaptogens and returning to nature. And I know I've also mentioned that it's really hard. Even, I buy mainly organic when I can, which is most of the time, or I do without. There's the dirty dozen and the clean 15. So the dirty dozen is things like leafy vegetables and grapes and apples, things that you eat the skin, or you just eat the plant, because there's no protection. But the clean 15, and I don't remember the whole list, and it might have changed. But like things like oranges and bananas, that you have thick skin and you can peel it. But always remember to wash your fruits and vegetables thoroughly. And now there's so much stuff that they add. But back when I primarily did nutrition, I would always recommend washing your fruits and vegetables with a white vinegar water mixture of if you have a cup, you put a quarter cup of vinegar and 3/4 a cup of water. It's great to do with berries, and I'll tell you why. Because berries rot quick, because of the fungus that's on them, and that mixture will clear that away. And then nothing tastes like vinegar. You do a nice fresh water rinse after it, and then when you put them in the refrigerator, they seem to last so much longer once you clean them that way. And that's, it, like I said, it doesn't remove all pesticides and everything, but it does help, and every little bit helps, because we get attacked in so many ways, in ways that most people don't even know or see. So before I get into soul, nourishing your soul, I'm going to take my little commercial break, and we'll be back shortly, and we'll get into the soul. Okay, that's a quick commercial break. So we're back again, and we're going to talk about the how to nourish your soul. So I had mentioned earlier that this is a great time for manifestation and meditation. Two things that you should take time to do every day anyway, but there's more power in the manifestation aspect. So every day we should be doing meditation and prayer. There is great power in prayer, but there's also great power in you, because we do co-create, and we can't forget that. There is no separation, like we have been taught for many, many years, that the church taught us that, God was outside of us. But like I said earlier about the connectedness and the unity of the universal family, that is all of the Creator. That's what connects us all. So remember that you have that power. And what happens when we manifest, when we work on manifestations and affirmations, is, it's not just so much putting it out there, saying the words. You really have to put yourself into that feeling. So you match the vibrational frequency of what it is that you want to attract into your life. Is that easy? Not always, because we have so much of those false program beliefs that are still set in our subconscious mind that we need to work on removing. So there are different ways, but the best way is when you're falling asleep, to listen to a guided meditation, because when you get into that, I believe it's the theta stage brainwave when you're falling asleep, that it hits that subconscious false beliefs, those old programs that no longer serve us, that we want to get rid of. And consciously, we get it, we understand it, but that doesn't change it. So, like, for instance, there's times that you'll say you need to add more self-love. You have to have that unconditional love for yourself. And someone will say, but I do. I love myself. I love myself. Well, yeah, consciously you're relieving your love in yourself, but then you get lost in that subconscious mind. And what is the self-talk? I can't do this. I'm not, I'm not able to do that. I don't know how to do this. I can't crochet. I can't, bake. I don't know how to ride a bike, or whatever it is. Well, why can't you? Because you believe you can't? Well, that's the stuff that you need to change. And it's like, all right, abundance, the money, attracting money in, that's a big issue for so many people. Everybody comes from lack. And today it's like it's spread out so bad because of our economy and the cost of living is and where families are, that it's hard to believe that you can change that because you don't have anywhere to look. You sit at your kitchen table and you get out your checkbook. Well, maybe not a checkbook, but some people still do. But you get the budget and you get the bills and you're trying to make it work. And it's hard to shift that because it's real and it's in front of you. And that's where the prayer comes in and the faith, because it will work out. And sometimes we lose things because it will bring us to the next level and it'll give us a different understanding. So everything, no matter how difficult it is that you go through, is happening for a purpose. And this is something that I know on a very personal level because probably 15 years ago, I was in a very poor financial situation. I lost 2 homes. I lost my car. I felt really like this is it. As I was rolling quarters to put gas in my car, which I knew I was going to be losing, I was sitting there and I remember saying, "Dear Lord, I know you have a plan for me and I am open. Show me." And I did go through the process of losing my car. And at the same time, I was going through the process of losing my father. It was just, it was coming at me from all directions. But I prayed and I continued to pray and I continued to see that I was going to be okay. And I needed to go through all those things because I'm going to tell you, it brought me to a completely different mindset on life in general and what is important. And, I learned a big lesson about not worrying about what other people thought because it was like, I'm losing everything. And, some people are very judgmental on that. And I'm going to talk about judgment and all that in a little while. But so my point is, even if you seem to be in the darkest depths of your life, pray, pray, and pray that give thanks and open to being shown the way and trusting in that. And pray with thanks for the things that you're bringing in and keep doing it until you start to shift that vibration because you will. And it's not, you have to have great patience because it doesn't happen overnight. I went through, it was probably close to 2 years of all of that whole trail of things that were happening. But like I said, each step of the way, and I seem to have attracted in the people, the spiritual healers that I worked with, and the different people started to appear as I needed them, and that I all give to the fact that I had that faith and that trust, and it's not like life doesn't knock you down. It does, but those knockdowns are really our opportunity for some of our greatest growth. So it's all in the way we perceive things and our beliefs. So to nourish your soul, it's really, part of it is what we talked about with the mind, what you bring in, but it's really that manifestation and meditation and the prayer, staying connected and staying close, every single day. The first thing in the morning when I open my eyes, I thank God for another day, and I really do that. But there were times in my life way back when especially in my 30s. I would open my eyes and be like, oh no, not another day, and dread it. But you come to this understanding that you create the day. So make it a great day. It's an auspicious day, even if the rain is raining down, because it's cleansing and it's nourishing, it's beautiful. So it's really all about that perspective and that co-creating. So, you could put that dark cloud over your head every day, or you could put the sunshine and the happiness and the gratitude, because it's really coming from gratitude. Always, always be grateful for every single thing you have. How many people say a prayer before they nourish their body with the meal that they're going to consume? How many people get in their car and give gratitude to have the car and for the safe journey? How many times do you take a shower and have gratitude for the shower? And it's funny, I brought the shower up because I was scrubbing my shower today, and I was in gratitude that I was able to do that, that I have a shower. It's all those things that if you give thanks for, you get more. So that's how it works. So don't come from lack, even if you're in the very dark place. It really will only create more. It's that vibrational frequency that you need to change. So to go back to the judgment, and I kind of went down this. I've been really looking at this. I don't want to say I went down a rabbit hole, but I've been really wrapping my head around the understanding of all of that, because I do live by God's law. I am very spiritual. It's very important to me as a minister, but as a person, as a child, I always had that faith, and I'm grateful for it, because it is what got me through all those hard times. So I really, because it's a challenging time for me with what's going on in the world, and observing what's happening, and knowing what truth is as far as our creator creating us a certain way. um, that's all in divine order. And so I'm observing it without judgment. But yet, am I? That's a good question. But I have transgender clients, and I've had them sit across from me at live events, and I look at them with loving, kind eyes and see the child of God that's within them. Do I agree with their choices? No. Um, but I don't think it really is judgment, because I'm not judging them. I just don't agree with that. Because Judgment Day will come for all of us. And that's where the judgment really should take place. It's not our judgment. Robert said he just noticed it's 444. Awesome. And you did, because you just typed that at 445. Yeah, pay attention to that with the synchronicities of numbers as well. But so there is judgment, there's observation, there's our own beliefs and our own opinions. And to me, I really feel that we have our right to those things, but we also have the right to respect others for theirs. And that's where this world is falling short. And like I said, everyone is going to have their judgment day. When you leave this plane and you cross over, you know, who really knows what's there, but I believe that there's different levels on that side, and that's where the reincarnation comes in. I also think that's where the confusion comes in with gender, because if you have past lives, and say you were a woman in your past life and you come into this incarnation as a man, well, there's a reason for that. You may have some tendencies from the past life that you bring in, but you are meant to be whatever gender that is in this life. Yeah, Edgar Casey also, in one of his readings, he talks about a little bit of that, about the homosexuality and past lives. So, there's a lot of things, but then again, this is my opinion and my belief, and there is no judgment. It's just, I have the right to my opinion and my belief, so I'm sharing that. But it is a very slippery slope out there. Things are really chaotic, and one of the things that I really can't stand for is when they bring children in, because we are the keepers of the children, and it's our job to protect them. And like when I had the show about the Sound of Freedom, it really is our job to protect these children, and all children. It's children that are still with their families, but they're going to schools where they're encouraging things that really shouldn't be encouraged. These are young children, and that's that. I really have to draw the line there. Um, that I could go on, and like I could get knocked off of YouTube if I keep going, but maybe someday I will have one of those shows. We will see. We will see. So I wanted, Robert, would you like a message? Since you are always so supportive, I would love to give you one if you would like. I don't just give messages unless people, ask me to come into their energy. It's not my place. I don't know if he's still on. I got Robert and Richard. So if you want a message, just feel free. And I'm just going to remind you that I am running that special, and it's a good deal. $20 off any of the services, and I do obviously do the free counseling consultation call. Okay, Robert. Yes, you would like one, and I would love to give you one. Let's see what we got. So, Robert, I got that you are still in your own way. What's going on? You're holding yourself back in some areas. I don't know. Did you change jobs? Because I feel like there was a change, or there is going to be a change with your job. Um, that there's a bit of confusion. I don't mean confusion on my end. I mean on your end. Um, you you kind of vacillate between, yeah, you got this, you're going this spiritual direction, and then it's like, no, I got to do this. It's like, and it happens to all of us. But I feel like it's happening to you in in a different way, because I feel like there's going to be a change coming with your job, since you are still at the same job, because they gave me that movement. Um, and I don't. It's like if you're not looking, you should be looking, and it's almost like that. I talked about the lack, the fear, the lack of money. Where you come from, and I get a very strong connection to you with that fear of taking that leap. Expand your interests, get out there, because like I said, it really feels like you're blocking yourself from your divine purpose. And it's hard to step out of that. Work on some of those meditations, to shift your consciousness. If you search, YouTube has a lot of really good ones out there that are, and it's free to listen to while you're falling asleep. But there's many great things for you, Robert, and it's like they're not showing up because you're really blocked. Um, so that I just pulled an oracle card for you, and it's partnerships and alliances. So that feels right with the energy I'm receiving, because I feel that you're going to get out there more and meet the tribe. You know, you're going to step into the right vibrational frequency, and the people are going to help you along. Like I was saying about my own journey, and as I started to open up and work on things that, like the spiritual healers and, you know, different groups and different things started to present for me. So when you pray at being open and ready to receive, and you'll start to receive. Let's see what divine direction card. I just picked one. Well, actually, it flew out as I was shuffling it. And it says, affirm, create your own affirmations. Think of words or phrases that inspire you and write them down. So that goes right along with everything that we were just talking about with the affirmations and the manifestation. This is your time. Plug into all this energy of the Lion's Gate, and really start to come clear on what it is that you want to bring into your life. Because I also think that, you know, is a part of what's holding you back. I don't think that you're really clear. I think that you take a lot of direction from a lot of different places, and it creates confusion. So it's more like time to get in your stillness and connect to yourself, and get a better understanding of what it is that really is your passion. And because the answers are within you, they're all within you. It's not, I mean, it's great to have guidance and direction, but you make the choices and the changes. You know, people can give you messages, and we all want to have the answers, but the answers are truly within ourselves. So really start to look at that. And Ruth would like a message. Ruth, I would love to give you a message. So Robert, I hope that is helpful to you. And again, please remember to send me an email so I can send you that stuff about the powwow. I feel very drawn to connecting you with Peter, and that he does a lot of work up in that area, and I think it'll be good for you, because I do believe when you came to me for a reading in Allentown, there was a lot of Native American stuff that came through, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that's why I was drawn to that. Okay, Ruth, let's see. So Ruth, it's like it's like leveling up. You're going. And I also heard very clearly, are you working on another book? Because they said another book's coming. So whether you have started it and you're working on it, or you haven't begun it yet, but that's on your radar. So yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Tiffany. Ruth and I should do a show together. I said when I first came on with Goldylocks, I had told Tiffany I felt a connection to you, Ruth. I'm getting goosebumps right now. So there's messages coming through that are really, really clear. I felt a real strong connection to you because I believe that we are very similar in what we do and what and how we work. So I do feel that there's it's not even just the energy of Lion's Gate for you, Ruth. I just feel like you're really getting, that ascension. You're really starting to feel that leveling up of happening in your life, and big shifts. So it's definitely a great time for you. Let's see what we got on an oracle card. Triumph. So there you go, because that goes right along the energies I was receiving, because it's really, really just wonderful, exciting. It's it's like you're creating this wonderful thing, and it's not just for you. There's going to be many changes in your personal life on a very higher level. And I feel like it's abundance and prosperity of everything. Not, when you say that, it's not, it doesn't just necessarily pertain to finances. I just feel like it is a lot of things. So things that you have been putting out there to attract in are starting to align for you in a really beautiful, positive way. Um, wow, I've always felt a strong connection to you too. How cool is that? Yes, it's really cool. So we will definitely plan a show for sure. Um, so the divine directions card I got for you, Ruth, is, and I'm sorry, but they're really light, and I have contacts in, and I don't see as well with the contacts for reading. So it's do this. It's skills, and it's time to learn some new skills, study a course, or start a new hobby. So that goes along with what I was getting as well, because I feel like you're leveling up. So leveling up, could go along with skills and learning new courses and different things. And wow, um, when I said courses, are you doing something in that realm? Because I feel like you're going to start teaching something. Um, like I'm starting that webinar in September or whenever it comes to fruition. Um, but I feel like there's something like that coming down the pike for you as well. And we'll definitely connect about doing a show. I thank you so much. I hope that message was resonated with you, Ruth. Yeah, and whether I'm on your show or you're on my show, it doesn't matter, or do both, whatever, we'll figure it out. I'm happy to hear that you feel that connection, because like I said, I felt it right from the beginning, and I watched your show, and I like I said, I have started writing 2 or 3 master classes for this fall. See, yep, you're right on track. That's everything that I got. I do watch a lot of the shows, but I don't comment. I watch on my smart TV, and sometimes I watch the recorded. I kind of get into my own little thing in the evening. Like I said, I like to do a little, downtime, turn on a little funny entertainment, and then I turn it off and I get into reading and then meditation. So I don't do a whole lot of the show stuff at night. Yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely get on the show together. Anybody else that is, I don't think there's many people on the chat that would like a message. I got a couple of minutes left, and I'd be happy to give you one. So next week, I have a really, really exciting guest. And the promos will be out early. Tiffany just told me it's really, really huge. So just keep in touch, follow what's going on, because I'm not even going to say who it is. So thank you, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next week with my exciting guest, my mystery guest. I'll put it that way, because I'm not going to share. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Richard. I thank you, everyone who is watching and or listening that didn't chat. I appreciate you all, and make sure that you continue to follow Goldylocks and know where the great shows are. And I look forward to next week, like I said, and get into the manifestation and the energy of the Lion's Gate and make it happen, because it's all within you. You have the power. Many blessings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Have a great week.